to our 1000 subscriber special episode. I've got a lot to say about this momentous occasion, but I'll save that for the end of the episode. We have been popping bottles these past few weeks on Platinum Hunters. We took out the good table wine for episode 50 with Marvel's Spider-Man, and now I'm pulling out another vintage for this next trophy guide. inFAMOUS is another game that I hold so dear, as this became my third platinum trophy when I completed it way back in 2009. Sucker Punch had come off finishing one of my favorite trilogies in gaming with the Sly Cooper games, and now it was time to move development onto the PS3 and up the ante. That clip you saw in the very beginning of this episode is actually how the game starts, with an explosion that rocks the city and our protagonist who was unknowingly carrying this bomb on his person. Suffice to say, the Ray Sphere blast changed Cole McGrath's life forever and gave him his fated conduit powers. With this blessing / curse, the player gets to make choices in this small scale open world, manipulating the thing that the series is well known for, the karma system. You can either be the hero of Empire City with your choices, or you can take it for yourself and become infamous. We have already covered 3 other titles in this series here on Platinum Hunters, so now's the right time to cover the game that started it all and see how its platinum run compares to the other games in the series. Players going backwards through the titles, starting with Second Son, might find a lot of similarities when it comes to this trophy run. But if you're coming in fresh, you are in for a shocking trophy hunting experience in more ways than one. This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. As I said before, we have 3 other trophy guides for inFAMOUS on the channel right now. One of them should be floating above your head on top of the screen, and that's Second Son. Check out this game, or check out First Light, or even the Festival of Blood DLC standalone game. And of course, if you want more trophy guides just like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. We have 1,000 subscribers now, and we're just getting stronger and stronger as we go. So definitely subscribe, because you might just find your next platinum trophy. If you have played inFAMOUS Second Son already, but never got a chance to go back and play this game, you'll find that the trophy guide and roadmap plays out almost identically. You'll first play your first run of the game, either full good karma or full bad karma. Then you'll have to do a second playthrough with the opposite karma maxed out, and make sure you play it on hard mode. There are side activities to do, some miscellaneous trophies to grab, and then there are some collectible trophies to grab, in which one particular collectible will be the bane of your existence. Whereas Second Son was not too difficult even on its hardest difficulty, this first game begs to differ. It's pretty tough, but also pretty typical of the early PS3 trophy era, where the average platinum difficulty was much higher than it is now. Plus, remember all the times I sounded like a broken record saying that Sucker Punch always has in-game trackers for their collectibles? Well, this ain't one of them. I don't want to spoil too much of the fun here in the beginning, so we'll just cover a few more important details and then get on with it. Firstly, there is a way to collect all the trophies for this game in one playthrough, but it requires some well-placed saves and doing things in a certain way. For the sake of this guide, I'm doing it with 2 playthroughs, as I don't think the one playthrough method saves you a whole lot of time in the long run, and it will make the episode much more complex. Secondly, this game is indeed a PS3 game, but with the new PS Plus Premium tier, you can stream this game to play it on your PS4 and PS5 if you don't have a PS3 and a copy of the game. Not the most ideal, but maybe one day they will figure out how to run actual backwards compatibility natively for PS3 games. Finally, if you need any more assistance with this game, I have more helpful guides in the description below to assist you. The best place to start breaking this absolute beast of a trophy run is by taking a look at all the unmissable story trophies in which the game does something interesting. inFAMOUS is remembered by many for its binary karma system that either lets you make good karma choices or bad karma choices. There are moments during the story where this will occur as Cole is put on the spot to make a decision that will contribute to Cole's reputation around Empire City. Seeing how you'll have to do 2 playthroughs for this trophy run, you will need to make all 7 story choices of one karma type to get all of those trophies, and then make the opposite choices your second time around on your second playthrough. So 7 good karma choices and 7 bad karma choices across the 2 runs. If you accidentally make the wrong choice at any of these moments, it's not the end of the world. Just remember to make the opposite choice your second time around. There are also 2 more unmissable story trophies that you'll unlock on your first run as well after you take on the 2 different bosses. As opposed to Second Son, which lets you safely choose your karmic decision right there on the spot, in this game you will have to do an in-game action that will either be a moral and self-sacrificing decision or a selfish and chaos-causing decision. Sticking to your karma choice is very important through whichever one you choose. There are potentially missable trophies to lose if you keep flip-flopping between good and bad choices. Pick a side, fam, and commit. If you decide to be bad, you gotta go all the way, beating down grandmas on the street and breaking public property. By the end of the credits of the game, you either have to grab the good finish trophy for finishing the game with full good karma at the hero rank, which is the max rank, or the evil finish trophy for finishing with full bad karma at the infamous rank. Both of these trophies are missable if you didn't max out the correct karma by the end of the story. Aside from the story choices, there are plenty of other ways to grind out your meter to max karma, including some karma exclusive side missions, which will come up again later in the guide, but I thought I'd mention it early. In the process of getting the 2 karma finish trophies, you'll also get the Goody 2 Shoes trophy at the moment you achieve max good karma, and of course, the opposite, you'll get one for being bad called Truly Infamous when you achieve max bad karma. Keep all these trophies in mind and don't worry too much, as there are plenty of ways to move the needle on your karma meter. Now, one of your karmic playthroughs is going to have to be played on hard mode, which is a lot tougher than Second Son's hardest difficulty. This will be for the hard finish trophy for finishing the campaign on hard mode without switching the difficulty in the options menu, which will forfeit your playthrough. When you start your hard mode playthrough, make sure you go into the options and set the difficulty to hard, because if you don't do it by the end of the opening level, you ain't getting the trophy, fam. Ideally, this hard mode run should be done on your second playthrough, where you can just focus on grabbing the remaining story trophies you need and activities that will build up your karma and electric powers. Not quite critical pathing the game, but on your hard playthrough you shouldn't be going after 100% completion. Unless you really want to. Do what you want. I'm only your trophy dad. As well, you can decide whichever karma you want for the hard mode play, but I recommend you go with the evil karma for a few reasons. Firstly, the evil powers tend to hit harder and do more upfront damage. That's not to say that the good karma powers suck, but as evil Cole you can be way more reckless. The good powers have a lot more precision damage that you can use from afar, but the evil powers are great up close and personal, and there are some levels where you will have no choice but to scrap and claw for your life. This really comes in clutch for you, especially when you're playing on some of the tougher missions where you just get completely swarmed by enemies. The prison level can screw right off, and having the destructive power you get as Evil Cole will help keep you alive. Upgrading your powers is the key to beating this hard mode playthrough, as they give you more options against all of the different enemies. It will hit you back for sure, but it's doable if you power yourself up and max out your abilities. This is essentially the main reason this game is in the challenging difficulty slot, plus the collectibles, but we'll get there. But once you beat the last boss on hard mode, you will get this trophy. I will never forget this ending, and even though the game is old now, I'm still not going to rob you of this mind-busting moment. It's something you're just gonna have to see for yourself. Now, let's look at the trophies for taking back all 3 territories of Empire City. The thing that I absolutely love about the first game, and something they don't really play up too much in the sequels, maybe Infamous 2 a little bit, but it's that each territory is ruled by a different faction. The Neon District is ruled by the Reapers, the Warren is ruled by the Dustmen, and the Historic District is ruled by the First Sons. It's awesome to see these gangs that have their own identities with their own heavies and special conduits. Plus, there are missions where these factions will square off in turf wars that Cole will have to insert himself into. Suffice to say, these enemy types are awesome, but you'll need to run them out of town for these 3 trophies on screen right now. Taking back a territory is tied to completing all the side missions found in the district. These are indicated with the yellow marks on the map and will pop up after you first turn on the power in that section of the city or by completing main missions. Every time you complete a side mission, a portion of the city will become enemy free and you will take back a percentage of the district map. The side missions usually don't take too long to complete, and there's a good variety of them, like saving hostages, defusing surveillance tech, clapping some of the faction goons, and much more. This is an early open world territory, so the districts are not massive, and my complaints about doing repetitive tasks are way less numerous. Now, 15 of these side missions will pop up with either blue or red markers. These are karma exclusive side missions, and depending on which karma you are focusing on in that playthrough, you're going to want to complete that particular karma mission. So if you're playing as good guy Cole, do the blue missions and the red ones will slowly disappear. That's okay though, because it will still track towards the territory process, so keep doing all these side missions until you completely clear out the map of goons and get 100% for each of these 3 trophies. Once you do that, you will have plenty of XP to spend on upgrading your new powers. Cole has a ton of electric based powers at his disposal. Maybe it's not what he asked for, but now he has them and it's time to use them to fight back. If you fully upgrade any one of these powers to the max, you will get the True Potential trophy. Each power has 3 levels, so it's not hard to upgrade and get this trophy. You'll just have to deal with the increased XP cost for the last upgrade, but that's no big deal. You'll have enough XP in no time flat. In fact, you'll have more than enough XP for all the upgrades by the time you're done with all these different types of missions. For both of your playthroughs, you have 2 upgrade trophies to grab, 1 for each playthrough. There's the True Hero trophy for buying all of the good karma upgrades on your 1 playthrough, and there's the Evil to the Core trophy for purchasing all the bad karma upgrades on the other one. Grabbing both of these trophies on 1 playthrough is not gonna happen because your karmic choice will lock you out of the ability to buy the powers from the opposite karma. As well, you will need to complete those 15 side missions that are karma exclusive, because you will unlock an exclusive power after you complete 5 of those missions and then upgrade it at the 10 and 15 mark. So long story short, keep playing missions, collecting XP, building 1 karma type, and when you buy all of the good side upgrades or bad side upgrades, you'll get the corresponding trophy. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are some ways to keep boosting your karma outside of missions. Very early on in the game, you will learn 3 new powers to use on immobilized enemies and wounded civilians. One of them helps you get the Dr. Cole trophy, where you can heal wounded civilians. Clear! Zzz. This man-powered defibrillator will pick these people right back up, and you get good karma every time you use it. For the trophy, you have to do this 250 times. Yeah, I know, that's a lot, but this city is full of injured people, so just keep using it as you play, picking up people and getting more karma towards this trophy. Of course, there is one for the bad guy side, and it's called BioLeech. For the Hunger Trophy, you need to BioLeech 100 of the bad guys. This is completely the opposite of healing, as coal will drain the energy of its target, which will give you a nice boost of your electrical powers. Very useful when you're about to die playing on hard mode. You will have to down the enemy first, then lock on and BioLeech them. Once you do this 100 times, the trophy will be yours. Let's keep up with the theme of trophies collected using coal's powers, because we have a bunch of them to get. Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's start with this one because it's a fun one. The "Oh, you've done this before" trophy will be granted to you if you land one of your sticky electric grenades on an enemy and blow them up. Oh, and do this 50 times. Your electric grenades are able to stick to enemies, making this feel like you're playing Halo and getting some sweet nade kills. The sticky bomb prompt will appear on screen if you did it correctly, and you'll have to do it 50 times in order for the trophy to pop up. The next one is the frequent flyer trophy for traveling a total of 5 kilometers using static thrusters, which is Cole's way of gliding around the city. Before you unlock this, you'd have no way of reaching faraway rooftops that don't have a connecting power cable, but after you unlock this power, traversing the city is much easier. Across your time spent running around and doing everything the game throws at you, you will get this trophy pretty easily, if not get pretty close to that 5 kilometer mark. This next trophy was one of my faves in Second Son, and it's still so much fun here. The trophy is called Drop Everything, and you'll have to use your Thunder Drop ability from over 500 meters up and come crashing down. You'll need a very high up place to do this, and closer to the end of the second act, you'll end up climbing up to an iconic place in the series called Alden's Tower. It's so iconic that it was used as a stage in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Damn. Now I wish I could make a guide for that game. However, the servers are gone, so I can't. But anyway, you'll end up at the top of Alden's Tower, so just static thrust yourself away from the tower a bit, and then thunder drop down to collect the trophy. This is more than 500 meters up, so enjoy the ride down from the tallest place in the game. Seeing as you're the most electrifying man in the city, you can use that to your advantage, especially getting the Fish in a Barrel trophy for killing 50 enemies using water. If the enemy is standing in a pool or even puddle of water, you can just zap it and the surrounding area is going to fill with electricity and take out anything in the water. Now unfortunately these moments are few and far between on the streets, but you will travel through the sewers a bunch of times throughout your adventure, so take advantage of that and get the kills while you're down there, taking out 50 enemies who are standing in water. And speaking of the sewers, there's another trophy you can get while you're down there. The AC/DC trophy will have to be done over time, as you'll need to drain Empire City of 750 megawatts of power when you are refilling your electric ammo clip. This is a lot, even across an entire playthrough of the game. Even on hard mode, where you will be borrowing city power in high quantities to heal, you are still gonna need a bit of assistance. Most power sources deplete once you drain them, but inside of the sewers, there is sources of power that will not deplete no matter how long coal stands there and leeches sweet electric good stuff from them. Use that spot to gather the rest of the megawatts needed to get this trophy and put it in your collection. Now, while you're fighting on the rooftops, there is nothing more satisfying than knocking enemies off the roofs and watching them fall to their demise below. So for me, nabbing the Get Off My Cloud trophy and getting 100 high fall takedowns was so much fun and so satisfying. You will know you've added it to your total when you push the goon off the high up place and the high fall notification pops up. You can easily blast enemies off the roof using your shockwave power, and they will be sent soaring through the sky, and it will add to your total of the 100 for the trophy. The next trophy, called Red Baron, is kinda similar but should not be confused with the trophy we just covered. In this trophy, you need to collect 100 kills on enemies before they hit the ground, so you'll need to send them airborne and then finish them off while they're still in the air. So these two trophies require two different things, and you can't get them at the same time. One trophy requires the enemy to be alive when they go splat, and the other not alive, then go splat. This trophy can be obtained more easily when you are playing with good powers, as many of them will suspend the enemy in the air for longer periods of time and give you the opportunity to shoot at them. Once you defeat 100 airborne enemies, you'll get the trophy. This next set of trophies all involve vehicles and how Cole can interact with them. Other than the static thrusters or hopping off of buildings because their kneecaps are apparently made of steel, there are other ways to get around the city. There are sets of above ground subway systems that will run through the districts, and you can ride on top of the subway train to get around. There is a trophy up here for grabs called Electric Hobo, and you have to ride on top of the train for 2 kilometers. Just get up on top of the train and enjoy the ride. You can drop the controller and just let the train do all the work. Or instead, you can work on getting the Casey Jones trophy by taking out 25 enemies from on top of the train. This will be a bit more tricky as your aim isn't going to be the best while riding on the moving vehicle, but you do have lots of powers with splash damage that can get the job done. One of the early missions is going to help you get a jump on the count, as you literally have to be on the train roof in order to get the train moving, so this mission is a great time to work on this trophy as well. You can also ride on the rails of the train to get around, and Cole will glide across the rails at high speed. Great way to get around, but also great for getting you the Hot Foot trophy for accumulating 25 kilometers while riding on the train rails. Very similar to the Electric Hobo trophy, except much more grindier. Pun very intended. 25 kilometers is a lot of rail to cover naturally. So you are most likely going to have to jump on a rail and go around and round for a ton of laps in order to get this trophy. Just make sure you watch out for the oncoming subway train that's coming at you. Okay, the last trophy before we get into our final section of the guide is the trophy Roadkill, which works exactly like the Casey Jones trophy, except now you have to do it on a moving vehicle instead. Hop on a car and electro blast 25 enemies. There is a mission in the 2nd district that will have you ride on top of a moving bus that gives you an endless supply of electricity. So take advantage and unload on the enemies that stand before you, and when you take out 25 of them, you got this trophy. We are getting very close to being the ultimate hero or infamous villain of Empire City, and we just have some trophies left to cover in relation to collectibles. But before we jump into action, don't forget to hit the like button if you're enjoying our 1000 subscriber special. I am but a low-level conduit in this grand YouTube landscape, but thanks to all of you, I feel powerful and ready to take on the most powerful conduit of them all, the YouTube algorithm. There are 3 collectible types found in this game that will take us to the end of this platinum run, with one of these types being, shall we say, infamous in the trophy hunting community. But let's save that one for last and cover the 3 Dead Drops trophies first. On screen now are the 3 trophies for this collectible type, and there is one for each district. These are lore collectibles that help flesh out the events before and after the Ray Sphere erupted and devastated the city. There are a total of 32 of these across all 3 districts, and they are collected by locating these specific satellite dishes that are scattered across the rooftops. The easiest way to find these are by clicking the left analog stick to show you how far you are away from the nearest dead drop. You will see a gray outline on the mini-map, and the closer you are when you click L3, the more gray that circle will become, letting you know you're getting closer to its location. These are not that hard to find overall, but sometimes you will be completely out of range of one and have to run around the city until you catch the scent of another one and get the gray circle to appear on the minimap. You'll collect all 3 trophies once you collect the required totals for each district. The next 3 collectible trophies are for collecting all 21 stunts. These are the trophies on screen now, and ultimately you're aiming for the Stunt Master trophy. These stunts are super interesting as pseudo collectibles where you will have to perform a certain criteria to unlock them. For example, you'll get the up close and personal stunt for getting your hands dirty and defeating 5 enemies in a row with melee. Another example is the Enviro takedown stunt, where you need to kill an enemy with an environmental object, like exploding a car. Other stunts we have already talked about in the guide, and that includes Sticky Bomb, High Fall, and Blast and Bolt. These are some of the challenges in the 21 stunt list, and if you're looking for the full list, I have a link below that you can see them all. Unfortunately, there is no in-game list to look up the ones that you have, and I don't want to bombard the video screen with a huge wall of text, so definitely check out the links so you can look at the list and how to get them. At least half of these I got naturally just experimenting with Cole's powers, but some of them are pretty tough to pull off, so again, check the list to see the best way to pull off these stunts and get the trophies. Finally, we have arrived at our last set of collectible trophies, and now prepare for a brutal experience. Devs tended to overdo it during this era of games. And in Sony's case, you could argue that they never stopped. But what the heck am I talking about? Blast Shards. For this final portion of the Platinum Run, you will now have to collect all 350 Blast Shards peppered around the 3 districts for these 3 trophies on screen now. You want to talk about things that are infamous? It's the Rockhound trophy right here. I can only think of a few collectible experiences worse than this, like the pigeons in Grand Theft Auto 4 or the flags in Assassin's Creed. I always toot my horn and say that Sucker Punch has great in-game trackers in their games, but that started with Infamous 2, not 1. With these Blast Shards, the way you find these things is by clicking down on the minimap pulse button, and you have to look for the blue dots that appear. This will show you the nearby shards that are usually found on the side of buildings, so sticking to the tops of buildings is a great strategy. You'll also find them on rooftops or ground level every now and then, but most of them you'll have to climb up to get. Using the L3 pulse method is a fine way to look for these things, but when you get down to your last handful of shards, you are definitely going to run into some issues. Running around the city with 348 or 349 shards, pushing the L3 button inside of your DualShock 3 and waiting for a blue dot to appear is not a great time. Some of these shards are on the fringes of the map in some perilous places, and some are in areas you visit in the story. None of them are missable, but you may not think to look there, or those particular shards might not hit your radar. It's very easy to be stuck at 349 shards and spend hours and hours looking for the last one. It also doesn't help that some shards won't appear on your minimap at all if you try looking for them at ground level. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go into the description of the video and go find the shard map. Print this shit out, grab a marker, and go shard by shard, 1 district at a time, and collect them. This isn't guaranteed to prevent you from getting stuck at 349, but it will certainly increase your chances of getting the Rockhound trophy. For as much as I love this game and going for the plat, there is no denying that this part of the Platinum Run sucks donkey balls. But after you suffer through the Blast Shard collecting, you will be fully powered up and done with the Platinum Run. These powers were unwillingly thrusted on my man Cole, and truly are a blessing and a curse. And with this Platinum Run, you got to see both sides of what you can do with them. So if you have fully upgraded your conduit powers, painstakingly collected all the blast shards, became both the virtuous hero and unrelenting ruler of the city, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the infamous Platinum Trophy for Infamous. I'm giving the plat name a pass, cause this was the early days of PlayStation trophies, but I'm watching you. You better do better with these plat names. Overall, I know that 350 blast shards is going to annoy you and piss you off, but I still think the game's platinum run is a good one. If you're looking to go back to the PS3 era and pick up some first-party plats, this one should be on your list. The PS3 era doesn't have that many left with all the server shutdowns, so this one is definitely a good one to add to your collection. Yeah, sure, hard mode is going to give you a thwacking at certain parts of the game, but persevere because it's worth it. Plus, it's not the hardest first-party game that PS3 offered. That was a ruthless era of trophy hunting, and Infamous was one of the easier ones. I'm telling you, the time you will spend across your 2 playthroughs will be very well worth it. Trust Trophy Papa on this one. Use all the info I've shared with you in this episode and all the helpful stuff I've dropped in the description below, and you'll be fine. At this point in the channel's life, we have almost covered all of Sucker Punch's games with trophies. We need Sly 3, we need Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Yes, I've been slacking on that, sorry. But the last one is indeed the sequel to this game, Infamous 2. It picks up very shortly after the events of the first one, and in due time we will cover it here on the show. After 1,000 subscribers, I've realized that Platinum Hunters is a journey and not a destination. There are lots of games that I want to cover on this show and plenty that I outright need to cover, but everything in due time. The thing that inspires me to keep covering these games, new and old, is you guys. I say this is a journey, and a trek towards the unknown is better with friends. Here's to the 1,000 subs, and we will have another special episode for another special game at the 2,000 mark. But most importantly, here's to you guys. All you trophy hunters out there that tune in and watch these videos. Here's to all of you, and I'm very happy to keep making these videos if you guys are enjoying them. That's a wrap on this special episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am at a loss for words unless I script how I feel about being 1,000 subscribers. I am truly humbled that I'm here to say I have 1,000 people who actually care about what I have to say. When I started this channel in 2017, I believe it was, I never expected it to become like this. I had always hoped it would, but I didn't actually expect so many people to gather around the things that I'm creating. But here we are, a community of 1,000 people strong who enjoy trophy hunting or just enjoy hearing about games. I couldn't ask for more. I don't want to turn this into an Oscar speech, so I'll just say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening. Thank you for checking out the videos. Thank you to those who subscribed. Platinum Hunters is just getting started, and I hope down the road I can add new things for you guys to enjoy and make more of these trophy guides for the games you guys want to hear about. So long story short, here's to you guys, and I hope to keep making more videos that you guys like to watch, and keep letting me know when these videos have helped you get the platinum trophies that you want. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope your trophy hunting expeditions go incredibly well. Peace out.